Hey everybody, Peyton Truitt here. Today what we are going to do is walk through an actual case study of one of our existing customers. A little bit of background, when they first came to us, they had around 25 existing locations across the country. This customer was looking to further expand those operations nationwide, and they asked us to help them answer a handful of questions, and these are very typical questions we see with businesses of this size. Number one, what are the best markets for us to expand into? Number two, within each market, where are the best opportunities? And number three, what does market saturation or market capacity look like for us? So the question arises, how can Plotr help the customer deliver an answer to all of those questions? Well, the first step in our process is to actually ingest all of the customer data. This is really important because it allows us to have a really solid foundation and a very clear understanding of who the actual customer base is, which is pivotal for identifying lookalike audiences in other markets. By starting with this customer profile, we're able to uncover everything there is to know about them, where they live, where they work, understand what they spend their money on, what their income situation, their family situation looks like, all of these little nuances that are incredibly important for us to start to put together a comprehensive site selection strategy in new markets or expanding within existing ones. Once Plotter is able to ingest that information and analyze it, that can actually be mapped across the new market. So if we look here in the Miami market, we can see that we actually have two existing locations. By turning on our census block group analysis, we're actually able to map where all of the existing customers or customers that look extremely similar to our existing customer base across an entire city. This is the foundation of beginning to map out and understand exactly where we need to look from an expansion standpoint. Once we apply this layer, we can begin to start to look for pockets of customers that we're interested in. We're actually going to focus on this downtown Miami area. The next step in the process is to actually turn on this retail proximity heat map. What this does is it takes into account the high volumes of foot traffic and car traffic alongside cell phone data and a knowledge base of existing available commercial real estate spaces to begin to map out potential expansion spots within the market. To go a step further, we can also turn on pre-selected zones which our system is able to go through and actually identify and prioritize based on whatever criteria you want. There's no more guessing where in the market to go. We can actually begin to prioritize and build out an expansion strategy based upon the characteristics and the customers that we care about most. We're going to come in and focus on zone number two. Lastly, we're actually going to begin to dive into the existing points of interest and competitor makeup of the market, which is going to give us a full picture and allow us to start to create and identify the different zones of opportunity for this particular business. By heading over to the points of interest, we're going to focus on competitors and grocery stores because these are the two points of interest that we care about most. As you can see here, there's an existing presence of multiple competitors alongside the strong anchor tenants, which in this market are Publix grocery stores and Trader Joe's, alongside Whole Foods up in zone one. As we can see right here, there's a competitor that's actually in a very great spot. We can also see that there's a Publix that is very close to a red zone. So this is something that strikes our fancy. As we look, we can also see what our existing locations look like in proximity to other points of interest and competitors. So as we dive in here and want to begin to actually pull information on this specific area, we can zoom in on this commercial property and begin to analyze what the population growth, the income breakdown, or whatever data point we want to focus on. We have the ability to customize this further by changing the search area based upon a multitude of different criteria. And this is kind of the first step in identifying potential sites that we want to inquire about or begin to actually begin the due diligence process for.